What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Taste Like Music. Jason, Joe, and Krams are here. 2003 Deep Dive Week, the 20th anniversary. We've already given you our favorite albums of the year. Go check out those videos if you've not seen them. Kram and Joe have also given you their favorite songs, and now it is my turn. My top 25 songs of the year. Okay, here we go. Number 25. I've got Eve, The Apple of My Eye by Bell X1. Kind of an early 2000s sort of Coldplay Keane-esque ballad, but with Paul Noonan's unique lyrical approach, which kind of shakes you out of the cliche of that sort of genre. Yeah, just a really beautiful song as well. So really like that one. Number 24, Bitter Beauty by Jason Collette. A lot of these coming from albums in my top 25 albums list. Not all of them, but this one, just a great Heartland rock song. It feels like Wide Open Spaces, kind of got that wind in your hair, sun on your face kind of feel. And yeah, just a great song. He's Canadian, so it's the Canadian Heartland that we're talking about here, not the United States. Number 23, we've got the first single by The Format, which has Nate Ruess of Fun on lead vocals. This was his band before Fun. Just a great, huge sounding sing-along anthem. I love the acoustic guitar sound on this track as well. Number 22, I've got The Go in The Go For It by Grandaddy. Kind of a textbook Grandaddy song. They start out sounding kind of mechanical, almost like real instrumentation, live instrumentation played by robots or something like that. But then by the chorus, you're getting like this kind of heart-melting emotion coming through. The way they blend kind of this detached feeling with really heartfelt emotion at the same time is really interesting. Number 21, I've got Nothing Lasts Forever Anymore by Sloan. Kind of an unusual song for them, much more slow and kind of grooving than they usually are. I love how restrained it is. The turns of phrase and the lyrics are great, and the space they leave, the harmonies. And then there's just a million cool little guitar lines in this song as well. Number 20, I've got Watching the Sun Come Up by Ed Harcourt. Like the title implies, this song just kind of feels like Rays of Sunshine. I think Chad Blake's production is really cool. I love the kind of Mogi synth stuff happening in the background, and Ed's voice is just phenomenal here, and it's such a well-crafted song. Number 19, I've got Maybe Tomorrow by Stereophonics. Just one of the vibiest songs that they've ever done, one of the vibiest songs of the year. Just those backing vocals just kind of looping over and over, and the guitar and the key tones just creates this really psychedelic haze. Just a really cool song. Number 18, I've got The Weakest Shade of Blue by the Pernice Brothers. One of the best power pop songs of the early aughts. The hooks on it are just insane. Tremendous chorus, great harmonies, and just like this real sweetness in Joe Pernice's voice. Number 17, I've got the song Wings by Josh Ritter. In the past, I probably would have chosen maybe a couple different songs from this same record as my favorite, but I've come to recognize this one for the lyrical masterpiece that it is. Maybe the first of several lyrical masterpieces in his discography. This one eventually covered by Joan Baez. Number 16, a song in common with Kram here. I've got My Coco by Stella Starr. He introduced me to this band and this song early in our friendship. One of the first things he probably showed me. Really romantic, kind of like 80s post-punk vibes mixed with more of like the early 2000s dance rock thing. Singer has a ridiculous voice. It's a song about a relationship. I kind of like to imagine that it's a song about his dog for some reason. It makes it funny to me. Number 15, I've got Hey Julie by Fountains of Wayne. I think it's a shame that this band is mostly remembered for Stacy's Mom. I think they're great pop songwriters. I love the acoustic arrangement on this and like all the kind of like classroom type instruments, kazoo and stuff that's on this track. I think it's a nice contrast from the rest of the album. And it's a song that gets stuck in my head for days at a time. Every time I hear it, just so memorable. Number 14, another one in common with Kram. I've got Burning Photographs by Ryan Adams. The combination of that stop-start kind of rhythm section thing happening and those killer guitar tones, it's so good. Great lyrics as well. Just, I think, a really awesome rock and roll song all around. Number 13, I've got Big Sur by The Thrills. 60s sunshine pop with like this Irish overcast thrown on top. Like Kram mentioned, you got that, hey, hey, you're the Monkees, and people said you monkeyed around, but nobody's listening now. And I think that pretty much sums up this song and that band pretty well. Number 12, I've got Carry Me Ohio by Sun Kill Moon. Got to make sure I get all the canceled sad boys on my list here. This one is just achingly beautiful. Mark's voice is so emotive, just a great song. Number 11, Heartbeats by The Knife. Just an irresistible synth line. And for an electronic track, it feels incredibly human. The rhythm is just really danceable, exciting. I think it's a great pop song. Number 10, I've got Lola Stars and Stripes by The Stills, a band with one foot in that New York scene and one foot out. It's got that kind of New York grit to it, but it's also more romantic, anthemic, a lot more spacious than a lot of what those New York bands were doing. So it's kind of its own thing. The band from Montreal, but also spent a good amount of time in New York playing with those bands. Number 9, I've got Undertaker by M. Ward, a song that sounds like it's coming through a transistor radio in the 30s or something like that. Just classic folk songwriting. One of my all-time favorite voices, incredible singer. And I think for something so sparse, like it also has really considered and deliberate production to it as well. Number 8, I've got Safe Home by Anthrax. I was hooked on this song the first time I saw this video on the revived Headbangers Ball. It kind of oscillates back and forth between like being this heavy, grooving rock song, and then the chorus is like almost power ballady in a way. I don't know. And the way they go between the two sounds pretty seamlessly. I just think it's really great songcraft. Number 7, I've got Blue Side by Rooney. This is kind of like Weezer meets the Beach Boys, really catchy power pop with heavy guitars, but those harmonies that drop in are so interesting. The note choices and where they're going with the melody and the harmony underneath is so cool. Number 6, I've got Joe's Head by Kings of Leon. So much I love about this track. The guitar lead is so catchy. The bass line is killer. But it's really Caleb's vocal performance here that steals the show. It's so unhinged. It goes off the rails near the end. It's just like the most rock and roll vocal performance of the year. Number 5, I've got I'm a Cuckoo by Belle and Sebastian. Catchy as hell. Great little pop song, clever lyrics, all that. But what really puts it over the top is all the little nods to The Boys Are Back in Town. The way the melody of that lead is kind of similar, but not exactly the same. And referencing them in the lyrics as well. I think just brilliant stuff. Number 4, Keep Me in Your Heart by Warren Zevon, a song that puts a lump in my throat pretty much every time I hear it. Warren on the brink of death, struggling for breath, and just asking to be remembered. I think it's an incredibly moving song. Number 3, I've got Gone for Good by The Shins. Could have gone with almost any track from this album, which was incredibly important to my musical journey. But this one has pedal steel on it, so that's why I picked it. Number 2, I've got Golden. It is no longer my number 1. Dropping it to number 2. I think I even said in the 03 video originally, our first songs of the year that we did, I think I even said nothing this year really feels like a number 1. So it was on the chopping block from the get-go, but just a gorgeous, timeless sounding tune. The reverb on Jim's voice is perfect. The crying guitar leads, the lyrics. It's just a damn good, well-written song. And my number 1 is, again, another damn good, well-written song. I've got No Blue Sky by The Thorns. I think it's an incredible tune. If this was Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young in the 70s, this would be an all-time classic. This one written by Sean Mullins, Pete Droge, Marshall Altman, and Glenn Phillips. Just, I don't know, it sounds like classic 70s Americana, the blending of their voices, the string arrangement's incredible, all the session players, Jim Keltner and Roy Bittan and Brendan O'Brien, and it's just a fantastic, if you like kind of Laurel Canyon 70s stuff, this is right up there with the best of that era, I think. So giving it the nod this time. It's kind of a song I think I may have forgotten about when we did the original video.
Anthrax, man, still surprised by that. Glad to see my Coco on there. I think you liken that song to being about a dog, because I thought it was, and I think I told you that back in the day. But
maybe
clearly it is not, unless he has a improper physical relationship with
What's that dog?
which is not good.
Let's see. That's a whole 0 in common. Absolutely nothing. Anthrax is the only thing on here that is surprising or interesting. But I would have had, I'm kidding. I would have had Blue Side by Rooney. Originally, if we'd done this a couple years ago, definitely would have made my list. I just haven't. I listened to it. I still like it. It just kind of fell off. It's a lot of good songs this year. I think the albums were pretty much stacked up at the top for me. After top 10, I really didn't care, but I could go 100 deep probably for songs with no problem and still be like, oh, I really like this song.
Yeah, a good year. Hopefully everyone agrees. Drop your favorite songs down in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications because we've got other cool stuff coming up on the channel. Arctic Monkeys album ranking is the next thing, and then we're doing a dive of 1973, and then wrapping up the year with our 2023 album list. So make sure you're following. You can also find us on social media in the video description, Patreon, and merch down there as well. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.